Hey, what's going on, man? This is Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion. And I'm in the process of creating this product called Mat Work Magic, and also creating a dummy training system that I'm going to give out for 100% free. And while I was developing the product, I was really going through a lot of things about coaching, about education, and about judo. And what I think that many of us have to realize as coaches and as athletes, and parents too, to be quite honest with you, is that there's a new judo player in the world today. It's not the same player as before. There's a new judo player. There are new levels of referees, and there are new levels of parenting. Like parenting, when I came up, it wasn't the same as what the parents have to deal with today. Very different. Pardon the noise on the outside. I think somebody's cutting the grass and doing something. But things have changed greatly. I mean, you were at the point where when you were coaching on the mat, if there was a child that was misbehaving, man, the parent would come, grab the kid, fix it, and be done with it. And that's different today. I mean, even on the coaching side, some of the things that we say, some of the things that we do in practice, and our behavior as coaches has to change, because the variable that is input into our system, into our program, is different. And as a judo player, what you're dealing with in sport is different. There are more influences from the internet, of karate, of sambo, of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, of mixed martial arts. There are more things to learn. There are more things that are pulling at you and pulling you kind of sometimes away from your sport, when you need to have laser-like and myopic focus in order to be good. And my goal and my desire is to help people win, and not necessarily win matches, but win the daily battle that occurs on Monday or on Tuesday or Wednesday. That battle that occurs when you don't feel like going to judo practice. So that battle that occurs as a parent when you are tired and you don't want to take the child to practice. Those particular battles are the ones that I want to help you win, because those are the ones that are going to help you win at life. Because it's that battle on that Monday when you don't feel like going to practice. That's the one that you would need to win, because your child is watching you. And if you lose that, then they lose. And if they lose and they don't go to practice, then they don't get the reps. And if they don't get the reps, then they don't have enough reps to put in their rep bucket. If you can't fill up your rep bucket, then you can't pour out any wins. And understanding that particular formula, or understanding that formula in terms of success, or understanding that success is formulaic, is important. Now, the issue right now is that because there's a new type of judo player in the world today, the formula isn't readily available. Everybody will tell you hard work. Well, if hard work equals success, my father would be a world judo champion. He is not. It's not just about hard work. It's about hard work and smart work, and going to the individuals that have the information to help you move forward. Now, the information also becomes dated because judo is changing. The judo players change. The rules change. So it is those people, or those individuals who are concerned with being innovative thinkers in the sport, who are going to provide the direction and the information that's going to allow people to springboard forward. Because there is a new judo player in the world today. That judo player is the one who's always looking to increase their information, always looking to increase their education. Now, here's what we have. In the United States currently, we don't have any CEUs, or continuing education units, when it comes to coaching, when it comes to the process of constant and continuous education. And we need that as coaches. Man, the parents need it. The referees need it. It's not enough to just take an overnight course and get a certificate and then move on. We all need something that is going to continue to feed us, to allow us to grow. It has always been my goal, and it is my goal, to help people win. I want to help coaches become better coaches. I want to help players become better players, and I want to help parents become the type of parents that they need to be in order to help their children win. And I'm not concerned about winning a judo match. Man, winning a judo match is really, really easy. Winning a judo match is probably the easiest thing that you will do. Sacrificing in order to win, now that's the hard part. And accepting what you need to sacrifice in order to win is the hardest part. Right now, if you had to cut a deal with your child, let's say you have a child that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, so what if you had to cut a deal with your child right now at this particular age, and you said to say, little Johnny, are you willing to give up playing Fortnite from now on in order to be a national champion? Would your child say yes or no? Would they say yes or would they say no? Now, as a parent, do you think that your child needs to give up that Fortnite time in order to focus on academics, algebra, chemistry, judo? Do you believe that? Well, if you believe that and if you know that, then why do you let them continue to play? Do you make the argument, well, they need to have balance? Well, you got balance. You eat, you sleep in the house, you got air conditioning, you got your heater, you have a bed to sleep on, there's water running, you go to school, I pick you up, I take you to practice, you come back home, you play with your friends, you go outside. Like there's plenty of balance. But are you willing to pull the one thing that they like the most in order so that they can be the best that they can be? Are you willing to pull what they like so that they can be great? That's the question. Because what's required now in terms of sport is very different. Like I hear these coaches at these coaching seminars say, well, you shouldn't specialize too early. Well, man, that whole specialization argument was good 5 years ago, but things have changed. The internet has evolved. There's courses online. People are specializing at 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. If you want to go to the Olympics in gymnastics, you got to specialize. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to do a little bit of tumbling, and then I'm going to go over here and do a little cheerleading, and then when we get things together, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the Olympics for gymnastics. No, that's not how it works. That is not how it works. Every sport is different. Every sport is different. There is a point when it comes to judo that you have to specialize. Oh my God, yes. Yes. Now, you can do sports which are very similar, of course. You could do sumo, you could do freestyle, you could do Greco, you could do folk style wrestling. All those things are very similar. You could do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and those things are very similar. But it gets to a point where you get toward the end, you got to specialize. What day or date that is depends on you, depends on how much time you have for your development, and it depends on what you are trying to accomplish. You're trying to go to the Olympics, trying to go to World Championships, trying to go to Cadet Worlds, you're trying to win all of those, or you're just trying to attend. Because let me tell you something, the judo player in the world has changed. And if you don't change with it, you're going to get left behind. Those are the facts. We've seen the evolution of the fusion of jiu-jitsu and judo. We've watched it. We've sat there and watched it. And if you believe that you can move forward in today's judo without any level of mat work skill, you are fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. And more often than not, because the game has changed, if you don't have an instructor or a professor who is well versed in that skill set, you're going to have to go outside and get the skill set. Unless that judo instructor has been keeping up with what's going on and constantly bringing people into the practice who understand these new mat work skills and these training techniques and practices. Man, things have changed. You can't just go to practice and do judo with a 90-10 split of stand-up, of tachiwaza, and say, okay, we're gonna warm up with newaza. You can't warm up with newaza. You cannot do it anymore. Things have changed. What's unfortunate is that as things change, some people still try to hold on to the old model of development, of teaching and education, and you cannot do it. There's a point where you have to move on. Your thinking has to move on, or you have to move on. One or the other. You cannot say, I don't teach the grips, I just teach the judo. That's not how it works today. Grip fighting and judo go together. It should be infused in your curriculum, no matter if you're starting at the grassroots level, if you're in the mid-range level, at the national level, or if you're at the professional elite level. But you have to infuse it into the curriculum. There has to be a way. If you don't know how to do it, then you have to learn it. Because the judo player is changing. The judo player that comes into your school right now has changed. No, I would have never. I had a seminar this past weekend with I think 5 or 6 kids. Before, I would have started off the seminar running around, playing games, all type of stuff. That was 10 years ago. I would have done that. Now, with the level of intellect which these children have now because of technology, no, I'm not doing that. I pull the mats out, I allow them to sit down, I ask them to bring their spiral notebook, and I teach and I lecture to them like as if they were on a university level. Why? Because their brains are wired like that. They can download apps, they can log in, they remember their passwords, they can play 4 and 5 different games, they can communicate with people online. They are different. You have to communicate with them differently. You have to teach them like they learn at school. You have to provide one thing and then connect it to another concept. How does this connect with this? And then bring the two things together. It's different. It is different. And somewhere along the line, we are refusing to evolve. People are still doing the same old run around the mat, do the warm-ups, put both hands on the knees, move around in a circle left and right, twist your wrist right and left, move into uchikomi, show one technique, and then do randori. Man, that is not going to get it. If you are still teaching like that, it's not going to get it. And I'm not concerned if you are successful like that. I can grab a high school football player out of South Florida or Texas, put a gi on them, teach them for 3 months, and have them place at the nationals, at the junior nationals. Of course I can do that. Of course I can. The skill level is all over the place, and there's a lot of randomness. And any of the professional coaches can tell you in the country, all over the world, what happens is when we get the players, we almost have to detrain them and then retrain them. And it's difficult. But sometimes you think because you're winning, you think that thing is working. That thing is not the right thing to do. You have to accept that things are changing. You have to accept it. We have, I don't know how many organizations we have. We have a couple organizations. And I don't know one of them that has an online training program for its members. We're in the process of developing it right now. Yeah, well, we all are in the process of developing it. I've had it and I've done it. I've had it and I've done it, and there was one, I think in the year 2013 to 2015, I was the #1 online educator in the sport of judo in the world. Now the IJF is because they have a program, the International Judo Federation, but from 2013 to 2015, I was the #1 judo online educator in the world, period. And right now, I'm getting ready to come out with this Matwork Magic program because the way that we're teaching right now is holding some people back. We have boxing. Let's look at boxing. You can go into the gym as a boxer. You can hit the bag. You can hit the speed bag. You can go in there and you can do your work. You can do your work with an apparatus. You can go in there and do your work. You're a tennis player. They got a ball machine. Machine kicks out the ball. Pow, pow, pow. You're a baseball player. Baseball player, ball machine. Pow, pow, pow. You're a professional bowler. Ball, pins, lane. You're a judo player. You need another player to practice. I mean, you can do your strength and conditioning work, but you need another player to practice. And you have to find a way to put the skills and drills in place so that you can do the deep solo practice Not just uchikomi, uchikomi. You have to do the deep solo practice and deliberate practice because things have changed. The research on deliberate practice is clear. The research is clear. I find myself to be an expert in deliberate practice from the amount of time that I have studied it and studied practice. I started judo at the age of 6, stopped at 12, came back when I was 21, made the Olympic team in 6 years. And I didn't make it because I was super, super athletic. Because everybody in the world is super, super athletic who goes to the Olympics. You make it because you study, you make it because you have an intellectual approach and you have the right approach, and you make it because you understand how to practice. Because success leaves clues. And all I did is follow the clues. And those of you who all know my story of how I made the Olympic team, you know that one of the biggest clues was finding out who to follow and who to listen to. I immediately looked up Jimmy Pedro. I immediately got myself under the auspices of Eddie Liddy, 2 Olympians, to show me the way. Because I'm telling you what, if you want to go to the show, then you need to find somebody who's going to the show. If you're looking to buy something from McDonald's, I mean, you're gonna have to get on Google Maps, or you're gonna have to find something or someone who knows the address of how to get there, and who can tell you how to get there. That way you can follow directions, follow steps, and then go. That's it. You don't log into Google Maps and put the address in and then go your own way, do you? No, you don't. Why do you put the address in Google Maps? Why do you use Waze? You use it because you respect that and accept that as the authority to give you the directions of where you're trying to go. Once you find the human application of where you're trying to go, and put the address in. And I think the major issue, and what I found out in life, is that people don't know what to put in for their address. They don't know exactly where they're trying to go. And that's the conversation you need to have with a coach when people come into your dojo. And you need to constantly have it because the address changes over a period of time. If you want to go to the Olympics, then you just put the Olympics in and you hit search. And what you'll find out is sometimes the human application that you're dealing with can help you get there. And then sometimes they're still searching. Because they don't have that destination inside of their cognitive network. So they can't get you there. The great thing is you don't have to get there right away. The bad thing is if you're trying to get there and you go in the wrong direction early, you can make your journey longer than it needs to be and end up missing that chronological sweet spot that you need to hit so that you can have an opportunity to reach your goal. Because there's certain sports where if you're not at a certain place by a certain age, it's too late. Someone says, oh, it's never too late. Yeah, it's too late. If you come to me at the age of 36 and you say you want to go to the Olympics, not happening. If you come to me by the age of 36, you say, I want to win the Masters National Championship, we can make that happen. If you come to me by the age of 22 and you haven't won a national championship yet, man, we got a problem. If you're trying to go to the Olympics, we got a problem. If you come to me by the age of 22, we got to sit down, we got to put it on the whiteboard, we got to look at the time, what you want to do in life, what you're willing to give up, and then ask yourself what type of life do you want to live, and then what do you want to accomplish after you achieve this goal, which is important for us to ask too, because the judo player in the world is different. And once they finish this particular thing or this particular goal, it needs to create something on the back end for them. You have to set these people up for the rest of their lives, or at least try to, or give them some avenues that they can take, or roads that they can take for this. And the judo player has changed. We have to evolve as coaches, we have to evolve as parents, and players have to evolve too. Things are very, very different. They're different. And what I want to do in my desire is as it's always been, but I'm changing and evolving too. So I'm in the lab right now. I'm getting ready to develop this Mat Work Magic program, and also this free dummy training program that's going to go over some of the like 3 or 4 of the drills that we use in here. that help people, accelerate in a major fashion on the mat, I'm going to give those away. So I should probably release that this week on Thursday, I believe. I hope. I pray, because there's a lot of steps there's a lot of steps and a lot of things that have to happen, and you gotta test everything before you send it out and make sure there's no errors with the links. I've done that before, and it's hell to pay when all the links are broken and they don't work. So that's all I got today. If you have any questions, man, please let me know. Put them in the comment section, and I'll handle them as soon as I can. Take care and have a great day.
Yeah.